It's been a while, but today I'm making a video on pronunciation, and I hope you find it useful. So why is pronunciation important? Well, as we can see from the public band descriptors, pronunciation is one of the 4 criteria by which your speaking score is determined. Unfortunately, this band descriptor is less clear than the other ones for fluency and coherence, lexical resources, and grammatical range and accuracy. Mention is made of pronunciation features, but they don't exactly explain what the features are. There are some books, such as the official Cambridge Guide to IELTS, which give some more specific detail about what the features are, but some of the features are better explained than others. So here I'm going to try to explain some of the features. There are some pronunciation features. I won't go into too much detail because they're areas that you can probably work on by yourself. Now the first feature I'm not really going to look at too much is something called phoneme pronunciation. The band descriptors mention mispronunciation of individual words or sounds. For example, for the word trip, do you say trip or maybe treep? Now, mispronunciation applies to vowels as well as consonant sounds. And notice how the band 6 of the speaking band descriptor says at times. So if you mispronounce too many words, that might limit your pronunciation score to a 5. Now, some people seem to think that the only important thing to remember about pronunciation is individual sounds or phonemes and accent. But actually, accent is only mentioned at the band 8 level. But anyway, there are more features. The second feature is word stress. Do you stress the correct syllable in words? For example, photograph, photography, photographic. Stressing the wrong syllable means that you're mispronouncing the word, and this makes your speech more difficult to understand. But these two features, phoneme or individual sound pronunciation, and word stress, are probably things that you can work on by yourself with the help of a good dictionary. So let's move on to other features. These features are sentence stress, intonation, chunking, and connected speech. So next, let's look at sentence stress and stressed words. First, some important points about rhythm and intonation of sentences. Linking and flow. English has a certain flow to it. It's smooth. Syllables flow into each other when we speak. And then secondly, intonation. For stressed syllables, the intonation goes up and then down, whereas unstressed syllables will be flatter and lower in pitch. And then rhythm. Stressed syllables are longer, louder, and have more energy to them. Unstressed syllables are quick and less clear. So let's take 2 examples. The word computer. Computer is a word that consists of 3 syllables. Unstressed, stressed, and an unstressed syllable. Computer. Now let's look at the phrase, I want it. This phrase also consists of 3 syllables, and it follows the same pattern of unstressed, stressed, and then unstressed syllables. So the rhythm and intonation of these 2 phrases, computer and I want it, should sound exactly the same. So even though the phrase I want it consists of 3 separate words, they should flow together, just like the one word computer. So let's listen to some more examples of how syllables are stressed and flow into each other, whether or not they are in one word or in a phrase. Notice how the intonation and stress is the same for the words as the phrases. The phrases should feel the same as the word, connected and flowing, with the stressed syllable being higher in pitch. Have a listen.
1. Example. Dada. Example, I saw you. Da-da-da. I saw you. Example, I saw you. Example, I saw you. 2.
Recommend. Da-da-da. I don't know. Da-da-da. I don't know. Recommend. I don't know. Recommend. I don't know.
3. Yesterday. Da-da-da. Yesterday. Stay with me. Da-da-da. Stay with me. Yesterday. Stay with me. Yesterday. Stay with me.
So how do you know which word to stress in a sentence? Well, words in English can be divided into 2 categories. There are content words and function words. Generally, content words will be stressed and function words will be unstressed. Content words include nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. A sentence can also have more than one stressed word. For example, do you want to leave at 3? I need to leave at 3. In the first sentence, the speaker stresses 3 to show that they want to know whether this particular time is convenient or not. Whereas in the second sentence, the need is stressed to show that the speaker doesn't have any other option. Now, there's no one right way to stress words in a sentence. It depends on what information the speaker thinks is important. Let's look at these sentences. Jack will cycle to the restaurant tonight. 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 So now let's look at the intonation of sentences. Should your voice go up or down? Most statements follow a trend of decreased pitch, volume, and energy, meaning your voice will fall as you continue with the sentence you're saying. This is different from yes-no questions, which follow the opposite trend, where your voice rises at the end of the question. Here we can see some examples of a sentence and then a yes-no question, and how the intonation generally falls where the sentence is said and rises where the question is said. There are some general trends that we can use as rules when it comes to intonation. So sentences or parts of sentences that lead into other thoughts often go up in pitch to show that there's more to say. For example,
We found out the flight was canceled, so everyone got upset. We found out the flight was canceled. We found out the flight was canceled. We found out the flight was canceled, so everyone got upset. So everyone got upset. So everyone got upset. We found out the flight was canceled, so everyone got upset.
Secondly, we'll look at lists. Each item in the list goes up in intonation to show that there's more to come. The list isn't finished yet. Then, with the last item, the intonation goes down to show that the thought is complete. For example, we went for a run, we ate breakfast, and we started to work. Then, along with statements, questions that can't be answered with yes or no also follow this trend of a downward intonation. For example, how are you? What are you doing? What's your name? What time? Then questions that can be answered with a yes or no go up in pitch at the end. For example, are you okay? Are you sure? Were you there? Are you hungry? And then tag questions always go up in pitch. It's nice out, isn't it? You're done, right? Now, the intonation of a sentence does affect the meaning. If your intonation goes up, it means you're expecting an answer. However, when your intonation at the end of the sentence goes down, you're not really asking for an answer. It shows more that you already know this and you're just telling someone that. Okay, so next, unstressed words and words that reduce. We already said that function words are words that are not stressed. And function words are words such as pronouns, prepositions, conjunctions, auxiliary verbs, particles, and determiners. But sometimes function words go even further than just not being stressed. They get reduced. When something gets reduced, that means that a sound will change or it'll be dropped. Generally, words are reduced by changing the vowel sound to the schwa or sound. Now you might feel that if you speak like this, it's not clear enough. You might think that you have to pronounce every syllable clearly and fully. But English is all about the contrast between stressed syllables and unstressed syllables. If you fully pronounce every syllable, you will be harder to understand. So let's look at some examples.
For, 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 for. Them, them, are. Are you there? Er. Are you there? Are you there? Or. Small or large? Er. Smaller. 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 Small or large? For. For school. For. For school. Your paper. Your paper.
Let's look at some examples of words that can reduce. Can, fully pronounced can, in its reduced form kun. This word can be a function word or a contact word. When it's a function word, it can be reduced. For example, when it's a helping verb or an auxiliary verb. So for example, in the sentence, I can help you, can is not the main verb. Help is the main verb. In this case, it can be reduced. Let's listen to some examples. I'll put up many more examples on the website, but for the purpose of this video, there's only one example.
Can. I can be there. Can. I can. I can be there. I can be there. Can.
Can. We can try.
Section 5 concerns chunking. Chunking is the way speakers make long pieces of spoken language easier for their listeners to understand by pausing to show where one idea or thought finishes and another idea or thought starts. A group of words that the speaker believes to go together as one piece of information is referred to as a chunk or thought group. Sometimes one sentence contains one chunk, but sometimes a sentence contains several chunks. Speakers give signals to their listeners about which pieces of information go together by pausing between the chunks. So let's listen to this example and notice how the speaker divides the sentence into thought groups by pausing. Draw a line when you hear the speaker pause.
If you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're probably right.
Okay, now that example was pretty simple. It was just one sentence. The speaker was speaking quite slowly and divided the sentence into 3 chunks. Now, you just need to note that the speaker's intention and the context of the situation will also influence how often and where the speaker pauses. Now, we're going to listen to another example. This one is a little bit longer. So listen to the following conversation between friends and draw the lines between the chunks.
You know how I've been talking about going overseas?
You're always talking about it.
Well, I've decided to make a goal to go in November.
November? It's already August. That's only 4 months off. How'll you afford it?
Well, I've set myself some goals. I'm going to quit smoking, make a lot less phone calls, walk more instead of using public transport, and I'm going to do more overtime at work. By October, I should have enough money to go.
Quit smoking? Walk more? Are you joking? I've heard all this before.
I know, but this time I feel very motivated. So, if I can stay focused on the goal, I know I'll be in Rome by the end of November. I'll have to start thinking about clothes. Is it hot or cold in Rome in November?
I'm not sure. It'll be cold, I think.
Part 6 is about connected speech. Have you ever noticed how words in English run together? Most of the time, they don't sound like separate words. For Mandarin speakers, it might be a little bit difficult to hear where some words end and other words begin. That's because when people speak, they link words together. So, as a general rule, we link words together when they form the same thought group. You can think of a thought group as a group of words that will be separated by a comma when you write the words out. So the following sentence has 2 thought groups separated by a comma, and when we link the words, we take the words from one group and pronounce them so they flow together and sound almost like one word, one thought. There's a little pause, and then we say the second group in the same way. So let's have a listen to the example.
And then I thought, how's that gonna work? And then I thought, how's that gonna work?
Now, there are 3 ways you can link words. The first way is linking vowel to vowel. That is when the first word ends in a vowel or diphthong, and the next one begins with a vowel or diphthong. For example, my own, my own. Stay a while, stay a while. Why is, why is. Now, it's easier for people, some people, to use glide consonants to help link vowel sounds. We use this in the same situation, where there's an ending vowel and a beginning vowel. And we use a y or w sound to connect the vowel sounds. Let's listen to some examples.
The apple is fresh. The apple. The apple. The apple. The apple is fresh. The toy airplane broke. Toy airplane. Toy airplane. Toy airplane. The toy airplane broke. My uncle is funny. My uncle. My uncle. My uncle. My uncle is funny. Say it quickly. Say it. Say it. Say it. Say it quickly. The blue automobile is the fastest. Blue automobile. Blue automobile. Blue automobile. The blue automobile is the fastest. How about this one? How about? How about? How about? How about this one? The slow animal was caught. Slow animal. Slow animal. Slow animal. The slow animal was caught.
The second way that words can be linked is by linking the consonant to the vowel sound. There's one thing in particular I want to look at, and that's the way the T's are pronounced. The T sound will turn into a D sound in some cases. For example, where the T comes between two vowel or diphthong sounds, like for example pretty, or after an R and before a vowel or diphthong sound, like for example in party. So the word is not pronounced pretty, but it changes to pretty. Similarly, party is pronounced party. And here where we have the phrase forget about it, the T's turn to D's and sounds like forget about it. So let's listen to some examples.
That's what I thought. Die. Die. What I. That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
I thought about it. Thought about. Thought about. Thought about. Thought about. About it. About it. About it. About it. I thought about it. I thought about it. Is it time? Is it? Is it? Is it? Is it? Is it time? Is it time?
The third way to link words is by linking a consonant to another consonant. So this is where the first word ends in a consonant and the next one begins with a consonant. This can be a little bit difficult because some consonants don't link very well. But when you do pronounce the words, just be careful not to leave a gap in between or no release between the two sounds. So after saying the first sound, just go straight into the next sound, thinking about what needs to change. And remember, we're talking about sounds, not letters. For example, tough one is going to sound like tough one. Let's listen to some more examples.
It was raining. It was. It was. It was. It was raining. It was raining. Wait for me. Wait for. Wait for. Wait for. Wait for me. Wait for me.
Let me see that. Let me. Let me. Let me. Let me see that. Let me see that. I got Dad a gift. Got Dad. Got Dad. Got Dad. I got Dad a gift. I got Dad a gift.
Next, let's listen to some 3 simple words that you can use to make your pronunciation better. The words are gonna, wanna, and gotta. These words fill our everyday speech, but don't worry, it's not just for casual conversation, and you won't sound uneducated if you use these reductions. Use them in your test. It'll really improve your pronunciation score, or at least help to improve your pronunciation score. So first, let's look at gonna. The stress is on the first syllable, and the second syllable is reduced, the sound, very short. Let's listen to some examples.
I'm gonna. I'm gonna. I'm gonna. I'm gonna be late. You're gonna. You're gonna. You're gonna. You're gonna be sorry.
He's gonna. He's gonna. He's gonna. He's gonna stop by. We're gonna. We're gonna. We're gonna. We're gonna have fun. They're gonna. They're gonna. They're gonna. They're gonna drive.
The next word, wanna, is very similar to gonna. Also 2 syllables with a stress on the first syllable and the second syllable reduced. Let's listen to some examples.
I wanna. I wanna. I wanna. I wanna see. You wanna. You wanna. You wanna. Do you wanna head out?
We wanna. We wanna. We wanna. We wanna move to Philadelphia. They wanna. They wanna. They wanna. They wanna come with us.
Here's the third word, gotta. Gotta is similar to the other 2 words, but here there's a flap T. So the sound changes to a D sound. And the grammar for gotta is also a little bit different. It goes with subject plus have or has plus gotta. So let's listen to some examples.
I've gotta. I've gotta. I've gotta. I gotta. I gotta. I gotta. I gotta go. You've gotta. You've gotta. You've gotta. You gotta. You gotta. You gotta. You've gotta see this. He's gotta. He's gotta. He's gotta. He's gotta know that.
We've gotta. We've gotta. We've gotta. We gotta. We gotta. We gotta. We've gotta do this more often. They've gotta. They've gotta. They've gotta. They gotta. They gotta. They gotta. They gotta work late.
Now we're going to put everything together. Before I go on, I just want to remind you that intonation does affect the meaning of a sentence. If your intonation goes up, it means you're expecting an answer, because you don't know the answer. For example, they're leaving now. When your intonation goes up at the end, it shows that you don't know if they're leaving or not, and you're asking. However, if your intonation goes down, it means you know the answer, and you're telling someone that. For example, they're leaving now. So we're going to listen to a conversation where we're going to see different features. Here are some things that I want you to look out for. So let's listen to the conversation.
Anna and I will be in town next weekend. Do you guys want to try to get together?
Yeah, we'd love to. Do you want to come over for an early dinner on Saturday?
Sure.
We usually start putting Charlie to bed around 7.
Okay, no problem. We'll be out of your hair by then.
Great.
So maybe you're still thinking, well, why is pronunciation important? Well, of course it's important because the reason I mentioned already, it's part of the rubric which determines your score. But there's another reason. In the long term, part 2 of the speaking, often when I listen to candidates, it can be kind of difficult to know exactly which part of the prompt they're talking about, because they don't use intonation to show when they finish a thought and when a new thought begins. This can make it difficult to follow their talk and might lead to a lower score in coherence also. Let me show you an example. Here's an example script of part 2 talk. Prompt is about travel. So we see we have these 5 parts, the introduction and the conclusion being 1 and 5. And as you know, in the part 2 speaking, there are 4 points to the prompt that you need to address. So let's look at how this candidate starts. They use the word okay to signal that they're starting, and the okay is said with a rising intonation. Then when they get to the next point of the prompt, where they need to talk about why they went to this specific place, the intonation also rises to show that you are starting a new idea. Then, when you get to the end of your thought, intonation drops again to show that the thought is finished. So we have the rising and falling intonation all throughout part 2 of the speaking to show when we are starting to talk about a new cue in the prompt and when we finish talking about a cue. And when people don't do this, it can be difficult, especially if your English is not very strong, to know exactly what point they're talking about. This can make understanding them a little bit difficult. So please keep this in mind throughout the test, but particularly in part 2, where you need to speak for 2 minutes and you need to keep your intonation accurate for as long as you possibly can to get a good score. Good luck.